And today on Cityscope, the International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition was the first of its kind in the Asian city of Ibadan. It brought experts, industry leaders to brainstorm, collaborate, and share ideas to build a better community for humanity. Yours truly was there. What are the challenges the Nigerian is facing in getting a good accommodation? Talking about housing deficit, how will it be solved? And when a builder gets a contract to execute, what kind of products do they use in executing it? Are they substandard? Are they up to standard? Are they certified? These questions and more are being answered here at the International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition holding in the Asian city of Ibadan, Oyo State, Southwest Nigeria. What do you think about the cost of housing? You get in Ikeja, for example, a one-bedroom flat, that's a mini flat, you're looking at 750,000 naira. What do you think about this costs and the regulation of costs?
Well, the only constant when it comes to real investments that has surpassed time is the real estate, right? And there's always something that comes with population, all right? And somehow it is unavoidable because this is a push and pull effect of demand and supply. And so at some point you want to filter, you want to raise the bar. The entrepreneurs want to milk as much out of what they think they have. I mean, there are people who bought at Ibeju Lekki at 2.5 million just a couple of years back. I just feel that there has to be a standard system of allotting what is fair in consistency with the earning capabilities of Nigerians, all right? Because it is extremely exploitative, right? There are people who got properties on an absolute free ground, right? I have one that I witnessed where someone bought this for 250,000 years back, and today is selling it for 50 million. I mean, when you look at that in tandem with the geometric progress of the economy, you see that there is a discord there. It's very discordant. So I feel that there has to be some system. It's not within my purview to allot what system will be. But I think that when we trade, there's what they call ethical sales, right? There's ethical profit and there are just very exploitative profit. So we need an organization to step in between this, to connect what is ethical and what is exploitative.
From the Standard Organization of Nigeria, I have Mrs. Yeside Akinlabi. She's live here at the International Conference, International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition in Ibadan, Oyo State. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
So people have had these concerns about building materials. We heard about the Ikoyi collapse, the collapses, all of them. So what is the Standard Organization of Nigeria doing to checkmate the builders? There are many of them. The building, the construction industry, the blocks they are giving us, the sand. Have you seen people going to dig up sand from gutter just to get sand to build it? And after, the whole house is smelling. How is the Standard Organization of Nigeria checkmating this?
Thank you very much. If I say something, when we talk of building collapse, we talk of two things. It can be man-made, it can be natural. When we talk of man-made, you talk of using substandard products, which is like what we're talking about. You talk of using a wrong concrete mix. We talk of using design deficiency. Maybe the client not actually opening up to say, this is what I want to do. You talk of calculation errors, in which you are not able to calculate well on the load that comes in. We talked of unskilled labors and many more. This actually caused building collapse. But for us in Standards Organization of Nigeria, just like the word says standards, standards has to do with a document. setting a document, a product standard that actually prescribes the requirement that is needed for that product. And just like the other time I spoke with the other gentleman, SON is just the secretariat. When we elaborate the standards, we elaborate standards for products, for processes, for materials, and for measurements. And we ensure that these standards are promoted at the national level. How do you promote these standards? You create awareness. Because we don't just make the standards and put them on the shelf. We create awareness both at the national level, regional level, and also international level, in the sense that because we harmonize standards across board. So as much as possible, SON has 44 state offices scattered within the country. There are some states that have 3. Lagos has 3. Ibadan has 1. We are thinking of expanding Ibadan. And what do our people do? Our people go down to the manufacturing outfits. So check what they do. You know, garbage in will be garbage out. So they check their products right from the raw materials they say they're using till it gets to the finishing product. But then you cannot look at the quality of a product with the eyes. It has to be subjected to testing. And when you test, there must be a criteria in which you are judging it against. And that is the standard. So basically, that is what we do. If you look at the real estate sector, we have cement, which is the most important one because it's the concrete that binds all the components together. We have standards for cement. And when we did the standards, cement has different grades. All these grades are stated in the standards. When we did the standards, the relevant stakeholders were part of it. And then we created awareness. Because why will we just make a standard just to put it on the shelf? We created awareness for people. Same thing, the reinforcement bars. You know, for the reinforcement bars, at every 1 meter, there should be the identification of the manufacturer. So when a building collapses and you go to the site, you may not be able to know who made the block. You can pick the mix, but you can actually pick the iron rod and see the diameter of the iron rod, and you can check it. And then from there, you'll be able to know whether it meets up with the requirements of the standard or not. You know, the thing there is that we are creating awareness across board. We are talking about sand. We're talking of gravels. All these are part of what forms the components for building. But then, you know, that we have standards for some are still under development, but we are creating awareness as much as possible. But the most important is that when you use unskilled force, unskilled laborers, it gives you a problem. If the architect that does the design is the same one that wants to do the building, we have a builder, we have the engineers, and you are still the same one that wants to do that. You can't be jack of all trade. You understand? And then we expect that when you pick your sample, or where you pick your sample, you should know that it should be certified products that you use. And then when you now make your mix, you should be able to test that mix. It will guide you into, because you have an idea how many floors that thing is going to carry. You should be able to test that mix to know what it can carry. And same thing in cuts across our different state offices. We have a comprehensive strength machine that we can use to test block. But you know, it all boils down to awareness creation, and that is what we have been doing all this while.
You're still watching Space.com on LN247, and right now we're about to speak to another real estate developer here at the International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition holding in the ancient city of Ibadan, Oyo State, Southwest Nigeria. Hello, sir. Kindly introduce yourself, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Bukola Olafari, the General Manager of Ruston Realtors.
Great. So Ruston is the organizer of this beautiful occasion, and we've seen people coming in. We've seen some international participants and also international speakers. Your theme is promoting economies of nations. So what brought about the theme of this event?
Actually, we have discovered that a lot of this kind of conference has been held several times in Lagos, and most of the time in Port Harcourt and Abuja, and we think that it is high time that we bring it down to Ibadan because of a lot of congestion that are already in Lagos. You know, in Ibadan we have a lot of expansive land that can accommodate people that are not finding it easy in Lagos. You know, in Lagos they've extended up to Lekki, onto the way of Epe Road, Badagry Road, and all the rest. But here we still have, large, expansive land that can accommodate as much as over 10,000 people. That when they come here, they have the opportunities are available there, and then it's better for us, to penetrate into the ancient city of Ibadan and being the largest city in Africa. And the idea that we have been promoting in Abuja, in Lagos, and Port Harcourt, we can bring the idea here, and we can have influx around the real estate, and the land is there for them, to create wealth among, populace.
I have one of the keynote speakers. We have the privilege to have him on the show, and his name is Oduayo Ojo. He's a real estate he's a real estate developer. Yes. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So, the theme actually caught my attention, promoting the economies of nations. Are we seeing a synergy here, between Nigeria and other nations concerning real estate development?
Thank you very much for that question. Yes, we are seeing a lot of synergies between what's happening in Nigeria and what's happening in other parts of the world. As you know, we live in a global world, and Nigeria cannot operate in isolation. So what is impacting Nigeria and what is impacting other countries internationally also have a bearing on our real estate industry. So that's why this is an international conference, and it touches just more than what impacts Nigeria alone. It also cuts across what happens in other parts of the world.
How can we give value to our real estate industry in Nigeria as a whole?
Thank you for that. The concept of value is as a result of the interplay of demand and supply.
Okay.
Where there is demand, you will see value. And that's why places where there is population and places where there's population growth tend to see increase in property values, because people need to live, people need to work, and it attracts people. But the good news is that we are seeing a lot of interest in some other cities. Let's take Ibadan, for example, in Oyo State. Because of the link and improvement in transportation, we are seeing a lot of demand for real estate in Ibadan as a result of some of the recent infrastructure development, like the rail, like the advancement of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and a lot of other infrastructural works that is going on. So the key driver for demand in other states is connectivity. So as we see more rail connectivity between Abuja and Kaduna, for example, between Lagos and Ibadan, between Abuja and Kano and some other places, that begins to open up new secondary cities, and naturally demand will follow.
We realize that there is the contribution of the real estate sector to the gross domestic product is not very impressive, and then we are bothered as a practitioner, and then we felt that the only way that we can contribute our quota to this is to create a platform, for knowledge sharing and for knowledge sharing and meaningful conversation, in the sector. And so we created this platform so that we can bring all stakeholders together, because you see, when you talk about the growth of an economy, it's not the work of one person, it's not the work of an entity or just a single company. People have to come together, systems have to collaborate, industries have to work together. And that's the essence of this platform. So we are bringing everybody together, and then we made the team for the Maiden Edition, promoting the growth of economies through real estate investment and development. So we are keen on seeing that there's an improvement in the growth of the Nigerian economy, and this we are confident can be achieved when there is a lot of real estate investment in the country as well as development. So that's the reason behind bringing or creating this platform. The audience is a cross-section of professionals, around different industries. Real estate sector has a lot of, sister industry, playing in that sector. So we have bring together professionals in the real estate space, professionals in the security sector. I mean, you have the commissioner of police, you have the member of the DSS. You
need security.
Yeah,
in real estate.
You can't talk about real estate investment without security. So security is very key to real estate investment and to promoting economies. So we have invited them in as well. They are available. The member of the financial institutions are available. The regulatory authority, the representative of the Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria just spoke now, and they are also shedding more light as to what we should expect in terms of enforcing standards in that industry, so that we can see a reduction in the issue of incessant building collapse. You understand, and of course incessant building collapse and all of that, because all of those things are also sending the wrong signal to international investors. So once they hear that there's a building collapse, they don't want to come and invest because they feel that there's poor regulation in terms of standards. So that's why we have co-opted most of those regulatory agencies, so that they can also share insights, and they can also play their part in ensuring the growth of that sector.
Call to action to individuals, call to action to investors, call to action to the government. Okay, so call to action to individuals and corporate entities is to ensure that in whatever we do, we embrace excellence as a corporate entity in our delivery. Our call to action for our government is to ensure that there is effective regulation of some of the laws, and also to ensure that some of the concern as professionals is also this concept of negligence within the public sector, within the government agencies. So what this platform is also going to do at the end of the day is to draw key points and then forward some of these key points to these government agencies and decision makers. And some of the things that we'll also be advocating for is ensuring that there's the concept of contributory negligence. So a situation whereby a public officer is negligent of his or her duty and believes that nothing will happen because there's no checks and balances. This conference will address that issue, so that most of the housing or land issues that we have at times are as a result of negligence on the part of our public officers. So if there's a policy, there's a law that says that there will be a kind of a disciplinary measure for our public officers for negligence on duty, it will go a long way to also help to drive investment in real estate. It's been Space.com on LN247, coming to you from the ancient city of Ibadan, Oyo State. And we've been at the International Real Estate Conference and Exhibition holding here. It's been quite an experience talking about value, talking about real estate, talking about housing deficit, talking about solutions, talking about standards, certification. Nigerians need to know this. The government needs to know this. And from what the CEO of the organizers of this occasion has said, a communique will be issued. Key points will be given to the relevant authorities, and they will prefer solutions to what Nigerians are asking for. It's been Space.com on LN247.